Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Last year, David Price returned to Tampa for the first time after being traded to the Tigers, and he one-hit his former teammates over 8 innings. Tonight, Price will make his second career start against his former team as we welcome you to Tropicana Field. Game 2 in the series tonight featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen. We are glad you are with us here tonight for Game 2 in the series. Tigers trying to get back to the winning track, and, well, they need to do it tonight. David Price will be on the mound for the Tigers, Ron, and amid all these trade rumors, got to be difficult for Price to go out there.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult, but he was talking to the media yesterday, and he said he will go about his business here tonight the way that he has gone about his business since he's been in the big leagues for 7 years. He said, I cannot control what they're saying as far as the trade rumors are concerned, but the mound is 60 feet 6 inches from home plate, and that's exactly where his concentration will be.
You know, and David's been awfully good this year. The one thing that always amazes us, a guy that throws 95, 96 with the fastball command that he has.
You know, that's one of the things that he learned when he came up to the Rays early in his big league career. Jim Hickey said, you got a great fastball, but you need to work on commanding that fastball, and he's perfected the art of commanding the fastball. He can go up, he can go down, he can go in, he can go out. He gets into the mid-90s and the upper 90s when he really needs to reach back. But the changeup has been the pitch that has separated him this year. It is a well above average change piece. You go 95 with a fastball, and then you come back with an 82, 83 mile per hour changeup. That's why you see so many uncomfortable swings against David Price. He simply is one of the best left-handers in all of baseball.
All right, now another guy that's had his name thrown about as far as trade rumors are concerned is Yoenis Cespedes. It hasn't bothered him at all. 6 home runs this month.
Well, I love his skill set, and Brad Osman said as much today. This guy's big. He's strong. He's physical. He plays both sides of the ball. He's got a tremendous throwing arm. He's got outstanding power, especially on fastballs inside. The batting average is up a tick this year for Yoenis Cespedes because he has learned to take some balls the other way. He's also much more patient this year as a hitter than he has ever been, whether he was wearing the Oakland Athletics uniform or the Boston Red Sox uniform. He's fun to watch, and he's another one of those guys where you're starting to hear some of the trade rumors circulating because he's a free agent after the season's over.
All right, Game 2 in the series coming up. Tigers got to get it going starting tonight. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane. But coming up in this one here tonight, you've got two teams that don't know whether to buy or sell, the Tigers and the Rays. Game 2 in the series coming up next. Smack dab in the middle of the wild card chase along with the Detroit Tigers. You look at the wild card standings just minutes ago, it was announced that David DeJesus has been traded away to the Angels, so the Rays playing one short tonight. The Tigers 4.5 back. The Rays are 3.5 back as we scope out the starting lineup tonight for the Tigers, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Ian Kinsler, Yoenis Cespedes, and Victor Martinez in the top 3 spots. JD's in right field. Nick Castellanos playing third base. McCann will catch tonight. Over the last 2 weeks, he's been red hot. You've got Avila, Iglesias, and Ghosts rounding out the Tigers' starting lineup, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of Jake Odorizzi.
Odorizzi having an outstanding year, although he has a losing record. The ERA sits at 2.85. He's got a fastball that gets up to 94. He also has a splitter/changeup that he will use quite a bit this evening. He had spent some time on the disabled list, so he has had some bout and some wildness. Let's take a look at the Rays starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Cabrera making his first start after missing some time with a strained hamstring, last played on July 11th.
So we are ready for baseball here tonight. Ian Kinsler will get things started for the Tigers. He's playing second base tonight, leading off. It'll be Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez against Jake Odorizzi. Tigers last night limited to 5 hits. They lost game 1, 5-2. And here we go. The first pitch is ripped foul down the left field line.
And one of the things that Odorizzi is very good at, working all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with his 4-seam fastball, up and in, up and away, down and in, also down and away. He'll also incorporate a curveball and a cutter and a slider on occasion.
Here's the 0-1 to Kinsler. Tap foul at home plate, no balls and 2 strikes. Ian in the ball game last night was 1 for 4. He has 4 hits on this road trip so far.
I talked about Odorizzi and the fact that he has been wild in his 3 starts since coming off the disabled list. In those 3 starts combined, he has walked 11 batters.
Meanwhile, Kinsler is up there swinging the bat.
How about that at bat Ian Kinsler had in last night's game in the 8th inning against Jake McGee? It was an outstanding plate appearance by Ian Kinsler.
I think that ended up being a 9-pitch at bat, which resulted in a single for Kinsler.
Right.
And he eventually scored a run. There's strike 3 called. Kinsler punched out of there by Mike Estabrook. Ian didn't like it. 1 gone.
It's a good 4-seam fastball. Ian must have thought that the ball was low, but Casale, who was the catcher, he pulled it up ever so slightly to get the call from Mike Estabrook, who's calling balls and strikes tonight.
Here is Yoenis Cespedes. Kinsler still shaking his head on that last call. Cespedes finished the ball game last night with 2 hits, including his 16th home run of the year. And he'll take strike 1.
That is something that Cespedes has been doing quite a bit this year. He's been taking a lot of first pitch strikes. Very patient hitter this year, and that's one of the reasons why the batting average is up to 287.
The 0-1 bouncing in there.
Well, here's some proof of what we're talking about with Yoenis. 2012 through 2014, he swung quite often at first pitches. This year, just 15%.
1-1 pitch is ripped foul, third base side.
You don't want to mess with Cespedes in that area. He has proven that he can do major damage when you try to go inside on him on fastballs or hanging breaking balls.
We have seen his hot zones. There's a whole lot of red in that area.
It sure is.
1-2. Just got a piece of the breaking ball to stay alive. Odorizzi is 25 years old. He is from Highland, Illinois. Came over in the James Shields trade. A lot of good young pitchers on this staff for the Tampa Bay Rays. That sails outside, fastball away, level the count now 2-2.
That's how the organization has been built, on pitching and defense.
And we'll see another good one tomorrow in the series finale. Chris Archer will go against Justin Verlander. 2-2 is spoiled, back out of play.
Yeah, Archer, he was an all-star this year. He's one of the best young pitchers in all of baseball.
Nathan Carnes, who threw last night for the Rays, looked pretty good as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cespedes. That is pulled to left field, and he just got out in front of that one. Just a little bit.
Odorizzi continues to flirt with danger when he tries to sneak those fastballs on the inner third of home plate. Past Yoenis Cespedes.
Almost paid for it there. He stayed inside but just missed, and now the count fills 3-2. Victor Martinez will be next, just underway here in St. Pete. Tigers and the Rays, game 2. Lifted back out of play.
We were talking about Cespedes and the fact that he loves fastballs inside last night. Well, he got one of those fastballs from the starter, Nathan Carnes, that was on the inner third of home plate, and he turned on it for his 16th home run of the season.
Here's the 10th pitch coming up in this at bat, and it's lined and caught by the second baseman Beckham. So it was a lengthy battle, but Cespedes goes down, 2 gone. And we'll bring up Victor Martinez. Scouting report right on the money on that last play.
Right.
Now Victor, who stands in with a couple of hits in last night's ball game.
And now Asdrubal Cabrera, he will play on the other side of the shortstop position in the shift. 3 men to the left side of on the right side of the infield for Victor.
Cabrera just activated today, the former Indian. Victor looks at ball 1 as Casale tried to yank it back into the strike zone. Martinez batting .263. He has had really good numbers career, both against the Rays and in this ballpark. There's a strike, 1-1.
Which kind of speaks volumes to the kind of hitter that Victor is, because we have well documented just how good the Rays pitching has been the last 7 years. Shields, Price, Archer, Cobb, you name it. They've had some good ones.
They really have. Off speed, stays high and away.
That appeared to be that splitter slash changeup that Odorizzi was taught by his teammate Alex Cobb.
It's a pitch, according to their game notes, that he throws quite a bit. 32% of the time.
Yep.
Strike on the inside part of the plate. 2-2.
He's got a 2-seam fastball. He's got a cut fastball. He has a 4-seam fastball that he's topped out at 93 with, and an assortment of different breaking balls.
Little pop-up right to the left side of the infield for Longoria. And the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the first. 2s. Tigers failed to score in the top of the first inning. David Price down the hill tonight. He's presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
He has the best earned run average at 1.65 of any American League starter on the road. And you take a look at his overall numbers. Looking for win number 10 this evening, a 2.31 ERA. Lots of strikeouts, and he doesn't walk very many. Simply one of the best left-handers in the game of baseball.
So the Tigers ace getting set to go to work now as Brandon Guyer leads it off for the Tampa Bay Rays. Guyer, the left fielder, stands in at 257. The first pitch is popped up. Left side of the infield for Iglesias, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Rest of the lineup for the Rays presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Guyer lead it off. Butler and Longoria to follow. Forsythe is batting cleanup. Souza Jr. in right. Cabrera at short. Kurt Casale has been hitting the ball out of the ballpark. A lot of extra base hits recently. Beckham and Kiermaier rounding it out for the Rays. Here's Joey Butler batting .292. Came on as a pinch hitter in last night's game. And finished up 0 for 2. Struck out a couple of times. And Price pours in a fastball strike. Tigers are 15-5 this year in David Price's starts. That floats outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Butler. Price, of course, with starts in his last 2 outings that were awfully good. The Tigers unable to take advantage. Allowing just 3 runs in 15 innings in his last 2 starts. A little bit outside, 2-1 on Butler. Three and 1.
And David's earned run average has gotten better month by month. In 3.48 in April, he is at 1.20 here in the month of July.
Price was a Ray from 08 until last year when the Tigers picked him up in a trade. That'll be a 1-out walk to Joey Butler.
While we have a moment, I'll set the Tigers starting defense for you. It is presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. Right to left, you've got Martinez, Gose, and Cespedes. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Avila in the infield. James McCann, he is behind the dish. Tigers outfielders, 25 assists combined, is good for 3rd most in the majors.
And Yoenis Cespedes, of course, leads the way out there for the Tigers. One of the better arms in the American League.
Yeah, he has 44 assists since coming to the big leagues in 2012, and only Alex Gordon has more at 45.
Here is Longoria. He looks at a strike 0-1. And Longoria at 268 has hit safely in his last 5 straight ball games. A couple of hits last night, including a double for Longoria. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And David Price made a start here last year for the Tigers against his former team, and he pitched 8 innings. He gave up 1 run, did not walk a batter, and he lost the game 1-0. As a matter of fact, he did not have a 3-ball count in that game, but he has already walked 1 here tonight.
Here are the numbers on that start last August. Now Price falling behind. 2 balls, 1 strike on Longoria.
Just to give you an idea how special that is to have an outing without a 3-ball count. Anibal Sanchez had 8 of those last night.
Sanchez last evening just did not look sharp.
Nope.
Not from the get-go.
Did not look like himself in last night's game.
Here's the 2-1. Lifted back out of play. 2-2 on Longoria.
I talked to Anibal today, and he said he was fine. He was out doing some running, doing some light throwing, and said he's just working hard, and his body feels great.
to approach the month of August. Obviously, these are the times where the games start to pile up on guys. Fatigue starts to set in, but Sanchez, one of those guys that works extremely hard. 2-2 the count on Evan Longoria. 1 on 1 out. We're in the bottom of the first.
And David's had an above average changeup all year long. It's been his out pitch.
Lifted in the air towards center. There he goes, coming in.
When you throw 95 miles an hour, and if you're Longoria, that's what you have to sit on with 2 strikes. David Price has outstanding arm speed with the changeup. This is the 2-2 changeup. And because it looks like the fastball coming out of the hand, you see a very uncomfortable swing by a really good big league hitter in Longoria.
Changeups this season, swing and missed at about 20%.
Look at the strikes thrown, though. 74% with that changeup.
That's really good. All career bests for Price on that off-speed pitch. Here is Logan Forsythe. He's batting in the cleanup slot. He looks at a strike, 0-1.
You were talking about David Price and the fact that he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2007. He was the first player chosen in the country. Went 82-47 as a Ray and a 3.18 ERA, which is the best in their franchise history. Ooh.
95 in his back pocket there.
Yes,
threw it by.
sir. That's some little cheddar there. Easy gas, straight over the top, four-seam fastball, overpowering Forsythe right down the middle.
No balls, 2 strikes on Forsythe, batting .285. Couple of hits, RBI in last night's ball game.
David likes to put you away in 3 pitches if he can. A lot of times he'll give you that fastball right here.
96, and he spoiled it. Well, they say the good ones come quickly, and Price certainly did. His first professional year in 2008, Price was 12-1 in the minor leagues, and really showed that there wasn't a whole lot of challenge down there, and he was in the big leagues the very next season.
When he first started, when he came to the big leagues, he was pitching out of the bullpen because the Rays were headed to the postseason. But of course, that following season, he was a starter again. Ooh, love that pitch.
And 95 just missed the inside part of the plate. 1-2 on Forsythe. He's batting in the 4 slot here tonight for the Rays. And he lifts this one in the air to center. Should be routine for Anthony Ghosts, and it is. No runs, a walk, and 1 man left. 1 in the books here in St. Pete tonight. No score. can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. By Dodge, find your summer of performance with great deals at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. And by Hot Pockets, irresistibly hot. J.D. Martinez hits the first pitch deep in the air to center field. And it's going to drop into center. Martinez on the run to third base, and he's in there standing up.
How in the world did that ball go that far? When it left his bat, I thought that was a straight pop up to center field.
I'm stunned at how far that ball went. You're right, it looked straight up in the air.
And it looks like for the second consecutive night, we may have a ball that has hit that catwalk.
We had one last night in the ninth inning. Casale. Oh, it's hit a mile high straight up. That had to hit something, because look at Kiermaier here. He went back to the wall and then started coming in. And the umpires are talking about it right now. Brad Ausmus immediately came out and said that should be a home run if it hit that ring, which would have been, I believe, the first or second ring. I didn't see which one it hit. Very least, it's going to be a triple. I'll go over and take a look at it. Man, is J.D. Martinez strong.
Didn't that look like it was just a pop-up?
Unbelievable. And it just kept going and going.
Kirk Casale also last night hit a ball that hit the catwalk before landing over the fence. And you could just tell by the reaction of Yoenis Cespedes that that ball hit something as well.
It's Paul Nard who was talking last night with Brad Ausmus. Here are the ground rules as far as the catwalks are concerned. If a batted ball strikes either of the lower two catwalks, lights or suspended objects in fair territory, it's a home run. And it appears that it had to hit one of the bottom two, which would signal home run. Two bases on the other ones. So we'll see as they go back and look at it if there's clear evidence that it hit one of the first two catwalks, which I imagine it would, Rod, because Kiermaier went back to the wall and then all of a sudden started coming in.
It looked like he was going to be camped underneath it. I know J.D. Martinez is strong, but that appeared to be a straight pop-up that traveled quite a ways.
It's Paul Nard on the left, who is the crew chief. In contact with New York now, so we'll see if Martinez gets a home run out of this. But that is back-to-back games now. We have had a ball hit one of the catwalks. Last night it was difficult to tell if it hit any of the catwalks, but you did see a change of direction a little bit. Watch Kiermaier react. He's to the wall. Oh, now he's coming in. So it didn't change directions by itself. Unless, of course, Kiermaier badly misjudged it. And he is a very good defensive outfielder. What do we have? Well, they're going to keep him there. So now are they going to move him to second or let him stay at third base?
I think Brad was under the assumption that if it hit that one that it hit, that's a home run here in this ballpark.
Which is what we were the assumption, under the assumption of two.
Exactly. How about that? 2 and 2 nights.
Keep in mind that Kiermaier had to leave the ballgame last night with vision problems. He had an abrasion in his eye that he suffered in a pregame workout. I don't know that would have caused him to do that, but in any event, he will stay at third base. So it's going to go as a leadoff triple for J.D. Martinez. And here's Castellanos trying to drive him in. High pop up, right side of the infield. This won't get it done. Forsythe is under it. Runner will hold. One gone.
Nick needs to be a little bit more patient in that particular at bat. Runner on third base with nobody out. He knows that the word has gotten around the league that you don't throw him fastballs in that situation.
So now McCann will step in. James getting the start behind the plate tonight. They will pull the infield in. Still back a couple of steps on the left side.
That was the first triple of the year for J.D. Martinez.
Ball one.
One of the things that Odorizzi likes to do when runners are in scoring position, he likes to go to his slider a lot, whether it be to the right-handed batters or the left-handers. I'm sure that James McCann has that same information I just passed along to you. Here comes the slider.
Drilled on a line toward left field. On the move is Geyer. He'll make the catch. Runner will tag, but not come home. Oh, what a throw there by Geyer. Wise choice by Martinez, and now 2 outs.
McCann gets the slider from Odorizzi, but he hits it off the end of the bat. J.D. Martinez, not the fleetest of foot. Geyer, a good defender with an average arm in the outfield. Really nothing J.D. Martinez could do there. He would have been thrown out at home plate for the third out of the inning.
So now it'll take a 2-out hit from Alex Avila, and the infield is back with 2 away. Avila batting a .188 so far this year. 3 home runs. He's knocked in 11.
And the shortstop, Asdrubal Cabrera, playing directly behind the second base bag.
Very aggressively, Avila fouls away the first one. No balls and 1 strike on Avila.
Avila beat the shift in last night's game with a solid single to left field on the fastball that was away, even though they're shifting him the same way they did in last night's contest.
Avila did draw a couple of walks in last night's game, finishing 0 for 2. Here's the 0-1. Leadoff triple by Martinez. He is still standing there. Tigers need to get this run in. Now Odorizzi with the 1-1 pitch. Low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
That was the split-fingered fastball slash changeup that Odorizzi has gained a lot of confidence in the last couple of years. Sliders to the right-handers with runners in scoring position. Lots of splitters to the left-handed batters.
Sally taking a peek, making sure that Avila is not looking down.
Ooh, another one. Nice job by Alex.
Didn't go. 3-1. Waiting on deck is Iglesias.
The batting average this year overall against Odorizzi with runners in the scoring position is 185. That's 5th best in the American League, so he doesn't buckle in these situations.
In there for a strike, and it fills now at 3-2 on Avila.
There you go, 185 opponent's average against Odorizzi. Minimum 75 batters faced.
High fly ball toward left, should get him out of the jam. Geyer is under it, and the Tigers strand a lead-off triple. We go to the bottom of the second. He had a chat with Paul Nart right there, who's the crew chief, about where that ball hit. And again, according to the rules we showed you, if it hit one of the first two catwalks, it should be a home run, but they ruled that it was not. In the meantime, David Price goes back to work. And Souza Jr. stands in, shows bunt, pulls it back 1-0. He'll be followed by Asdrubal Cabrera, then Kirk Casale.
Souza Jr. has got some pop in his bat. 15 home runs already this season, but the batting average very low. You be careful if you throw him a fastball in this situation. Ooh, nice pitch. A changeup at 85.
1 ball, 1 strike.
He's got an outstanding feel for that changeup, and the arm speed doesn't change from the fastball. And that's the main thing that helps sell that pitch.
Price just seemingly doesn't make too many mistakes with his command or his spots.
Yeah, he can pound that outside corner, and then when he decides to go in with a fastball, he gets it in there. He doesn't miss usually over the plate. Another change piece.
Steven Souza Jr. leading things off here in the second. Had a double and a walk in last night's game, was 1 for 3. McCann flashing signs. Little pop up. Back a second. In comes the center fielder Ghost to make the catch. 1 gone. Hey, by the way, stay tuned after the ball game tonight. We'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece McNuggets. Ghost has been busy so far. He's had 3 putouts already. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who is activated off the disabled list today. Cabrera missed 11 games with a bad hamstring. Fouled off 0-1. Cabrera played many years with the Cleveland Indians in the Central Division, so the Tigers are very familiar with him. 8 years with the Indians.
He was traded at the trade deadline last year, wasn't he, to the Washington Nationals?
He was on July the 31st.
He played some outstanding baseball for the Nationals, but after the year was over, he was a free agent and really found no takers out there. He had to sign a 1-year contract with Tampa.
Now Price ready with the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball up. Cabrera could not hold up. Asdrubal in his time with the Indians had the one really big season, 25 homers, 92 RBIs in 2011. He'll slap that one back out of play.
He has Cabrera set up for a couple of different pitches here. He can go inside with a firm fastball in the mid-90s, or he can simply throw that changeup that he's thrown to the right-handers quite a bit already this evening, and he's gotten some awkward swings. 3 flyouts to the center fielder Ghost. Going fastball inside.
And Cabrera just got a piece of it to stay alive. So far, David has thrown 25, and 16 of them have been strikes. Kirk Casale will be next. We're in the second here in St. Pete. No score. The Tigers came in tonight 3 games under the 500 mark at 48-51.
You got to go all the way back to July of 2012, the last time the Tigers were 3 games under 500.
Bouncer foul.
That's how consistent they have been as a team.
Meanwhile, the Rays last night snapped a streak of 13 straight games in which they had scored 4 runs or fewer. They got 5 last night, so it's been a An offensively challenged team here in St. Pete this year.
They've also been challenged right here at home. They are 3 games under 500 in their home ballpark.
That'll miss outside.
You would think that when you have a unique ballpark like the Trop, that it would provide you with some home court advantage. Your team would be built to play on artificial surface, and it would be an advantage for your squad when opposing teams came in.
Well, it certainly was that way for Minnesota when they played in the Metrodome.
Yeah, it was.
That was a really difficult place to play. Now Price with the 1-2. Cabrera giving him a pretty good battle here.
I was talking to Derek Shelton, their hitting coach, yesterday, and he was talking about the possibility of Cabrera coming back today. He said their offense really has missed him. He will give you a quality at bat just like he's doing right here against David Price. He hasn't played since July 11th, and this is a pretty good at bat so far. And he's also very good at the shortstop position.
Cabrera did not go on a rehab assignment. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Driven deep to left field. That ball is up there. It might go. Off the wall, just a little bit short. Cabrera is into second with a double against the base of the wall and left.
You can tell that that hamstring is not quite 100% for Cabrera. He was sort of limping and jogging once he got towards second base. Price threw him everything but the kitchen sink, and then he settled on a curveball and he hung it. I thought that ball was going to leave the ballpark, but it hit off the base of the wall and bounced right to Yoenis Cespedes, who was able to keep Cabrera to a double.
So Cabrera now puts himself in scoring position. That'll bring him Curt Casali. Casali hit a couple of homers in last night's game. And he pulls that one to left field, base hit. They're going to stop Cabrera down there at third base. Not a wise decision to have him come home.
If you're Charlie Montoya, the third base coach, you know that runs are going to be at a premium against David Price. So anytime you get a base hit with a runner in scoring position, you want to score that runner. But we've well documented that Cabrera not running well. So Charlie Montoya simply put both hands up even before Cabrera got to third base.
First and third now, 1 out. Rays have their first 2 hits of this game. And Tim Beckham will stroll in. Beckham played short last night. He's at second base tonight. So Odorizzi was able to pitch out of a jam, and now Price will have to do the same here in the second.
What is up with the Tigers' former player, Curt Casali? And 2 homers last night and a knock here already tonight against David Price.
Yeah, Casali going off against his former organization. Here's Beckham. He slices that one foul. Look out, it hit the first base coach, and that's Rocco Baldelli.
Baldelli used to move better than that.
Well, he's got the helmet on, which is a rule that was instituted several years back for instances just like that.
Remember when he first came to the big leagues, man, they thought he was going to be a star for a decade.
No doubt. He had some health issues which slowed down his career, and he just couldn't get out of the way of that one. Baldelli had some skills, man. He could run.
Oh, could he? Defend, too.
Fouled back out of play, and it's 0-2 now on Beckham.
Here's where David Price needs to strike out, and he has the arsenal to get the strikeout with an assortment of different pitches. Maybe not the curveball. It was not a good curveball that he threw to Cabrera, but the changeup and the fastball have been really good pitches so far tonight for David.
So he'll try and put away Beckham here. Kiermaier waiting on deck. And Beckham looks at a ball high, 1-2. Double by Cabrera, single by Casali. First jam of the night for David Price. In the dirt. McCann able to block it. Even the count, 2-2.
Price not afraid to double up with the changeup. He's already gotten quite a few awkward swings off of the right-handed bats on the changeup so far tonight.
David coming in had allowed 2 or fewer runs in 11 of his last 12 starts. Bouncing ball left side. He can't get it into left field right by Castellanos. It'll be an RBI hit for Tim Beckham as Cabrera comes around to score. Just out of the reach of Nick Castellanos.
It's a changeup up in the strike zone to Beckham. He reaches out and hits it right off the dirt and right past a diving Nick Castellanos, who was guarding the line.
Beckham gets his 19th RBI, 1-0 Rays. 2 on and 1 out. Here's Kevin Kiermaier, the number 9 hitter. With the lefty going tonight. Kiermaier in last night's ball game was hitting 7th.
He is the only left-hander in the lineup tonight for the Rays.
And he'll look at ball 1 outside. 1 run on 3 hits for Tampa Bay here in the second. Kiermaier had a double, had an RBI in last night's ball game, finished up 1 for 3 before he departed. One ball, 1 strike. So it's been a lengthy inning for Price. He's retired only 1 batter, and that would have been Souza, who flied to center field to start the inning. He is about to throw his 22nd pitch in this inning. And the 1-1 swing and a miss right through it, up and around the letters. 1-2 on Kiermaier. Kiermaier also has 10 outfield assists this year. He was a Gold Glove finalist last season, did not win it.
All the numbers indicate that he should win a Gold Glove. If you look at all the WAR numbers and the ground that he covers and the runs that he saves, no one in center field is better. But I have a feeling that award is still somewhat tied to offensive numbers too, regardless of what they say.
That's popped up middle of the infield. Kinsler will haul it in, 2 gone.
Usually the guy that has a really good offensive year along with a really good defensive year, that guy usually wins the Gold Glove in center field. It appears that Adam Jones has had a stranglehold on it the last number of years.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I think it's always going to be tied, rightly or wrongly, to offense.
And Lorenzo Cain of the Kansas City Royals might get his first Gold Glove this year with the season that Lorenzo is having.
Here's Brandon Guyer now with 2 outs as Price tries to limit the damage. A run in on the single by Beckham.
And the last time that Price pitched in this ballpark, Guyer was the only member of their team that got a hit against him. It was a triple, and he came home to score the only run of the game that night, and it was on an air.
Guyer popped up in his first at bat against Price, 0 for 1. That is fouled back out of play down the first base line. So now Price ahead 0-2. Guyer can play all 3 outfield positions, left, center, right. He's also DH'd this year for the Rays. And he holds the distinction of being hit more than any other batter in the American League this year. 13 times he's been hit.
Really?
Despite that, does not wear any protection on that left elbow.
You wouldn't think that a guy that's hitting 255 with only 4 home runs would get hit that much.
No, not at all. And he got him strike 3. So Price does indeed limit the damage. They will settle for 1 run and lead 2. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. .foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack any baseball fan would love. Well, the Tigers have some work to do now. They're down 1-0 as Jose Iglesias leads it off. Then Anthony Gose and Ian Kinsler.
And Tigers squandered a great opportunity in the 2nd inning. After J.D. Martinez triple, they could not get him home with nobody out.
Odorizzi got a pop-up, a line out, and a fly ball. That'll miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Iglesias. Jose was 0 for 4 last night. Hadn't been in too many slumps this year, but he's hitless in his last 9. And he drills that one foul down the left field line. 1-2. Couple of hits on the road trip for Iglesias. That pretty much has been it. Swing and a miss. He went after it for strike 3.
The previous pitch was a hanging slider that Iglesias got out in front of, and he hooked it foul. That time, Odorizzi made sure that he bounced the slider, and he was able to get Iglesias to swing at it.
Here's Anthony Gose.
Man, has he been getting a steady diet of breaking balls.
I know it.
I mean, he can hit the fastball. He's got some really quick hands, and for about the last 5 series in a row, every time he seems to get a lot of breaking balls.
I was talking to Brad. I think we were in Cincinnati, and that was in early June about that. He said, yeah, he's seeing more off-speed stuff now after he proved the first 2 months of the year that he could pound a fastball.
And because he's getting so many breaking balls, that 92-mile-per-hour fastball that Odorizzi just threw past him is because he has that breaking ball in the back of his mind.
Ghost right now is 0 for his last 14 at bats. 16 RBIs this year, a couple of home runs.
It's pretty much taken over the everyday center field position.
Now Again, the 0-2. Got him, strike 3. Ghost caught looking, 2 strikeouts. Let's check in with John Keating now. He's got a little bit more on Kevin Kiermaier.
He had the eye abrasion, did Kevin Kiermaier. We found out today really what happened. He was working with one of those resistance bands on his knees before the game, and it snapped back and hit him in the eye to the point that it bothered him so much that he was actually closing one eye, catching a fly ball. He had to come out of last night's game. He's back in there today, but the lesson there is that exercise sometimes can be bad for you.
No, I don't think it ever is.
That's
Keith.
why I don't use those bands, Keats.
All right, John, thanks.
Okay.
I nearly killed myself just walking into the ballpark yesterday.
Yeah, you did. I told you to call Mr. Bernstein.
I can relate with Mr. Kiermaier. Here's a strike called on Kinsler. Ian batting with 2 outs here in the 3rd. He struck out to start the game, caught looking on a pitch that he thought might have been a little bit low. Wave and a miss. Odorizzi now through 40 has thrown 29 strikes.
That's pretty good.
Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Odorizzi has been involved in a couple of big deals. He was originally, I should say, involved in a draft pick with the Brewers and then traded in the Zach Greinke deal and then went in the deal for James Shields. So it's been a couple of big ones that he's bounced around in. And landing here in Tampa. Into the glove for strike 3, and Odorizzi strikes out the side. He has 4 punch-outs in the ball game. The Tigers have been limited so far to 1 hit, and David Price, meanwhile, has gone out and thrown 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It'll be Butler, Longoria, Forsythe against the Tigers lefty.
Quite a few pitches already thrown by David already in this game. This is number 43.
Well, Price had that lengthy 2nd inning in which he gave up a run but stranded 2 runners. Chopper back to the mound. Price will handle this one. 1 gone.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. We talked about David Price and the fastball in the mid-90s and how he can locate that. But take a look at these 3 awkward swings on the changeup. The number 3 hitter Longoria, the number 4 hitter Forsythe, and Souza Jr. also flied out harmlessly to the center fielder Anthony Gose on this change piece that Price has been featuring here tonight. What a pitch it is for him, rolling off the fingertips ever so nicely.
Here is Evan Longoria, fly to center field in his first at bat. He nubs one right back of the mound. Evan Longoria simply will be tagged by Price. Now
Price tried to get a hug.
And he'll throw him out at first base. How about a hug?
Give me a hug. Price was here yesterday. He had a lot of hugs for all of his former teammates. Today is business, though.
2 up, 2 down. Here is Logan Forsythe. Flat out in the first, 0 for 1.
Well, Mario, you know what time of year it is for all these gentlemen right here. I mean, those are all major league scouts that are sitting there, and I couldn't even circle all of them. And they're not just scouts. These are some of the best that the organizations have to offer, and there's no doubt that many of those guys here tonight are watching David Price should the Tigers be sellers.
High fly ball. That's into right center field. It'll be Ghost to make the catch, and Price has a snappy 1-2-3 third inning. Only 5 pitches. Nicely done. The Bernstein advantage brings you the splits for Yoenis versus righties. He's hitting .315. Lefties only .183.
Yeah, that's surprising. And for a guy that has his skill set, that left-handers would have their way against him the way that they have this season.
Under 200 against lefties.
A lot of change-ups, lots of all-speed pitches away from Cespedes against lefties.
In his first at bat, Yoenis hit a rocket right into the shift. It was caught by Tim Becker. And they've got him shifted the exact same way in this at bat. 3 defenders to the left of second.
16 homers, 57 driven in for Cespedes. He's having a nice year.
1 ball, 1 strike. Yoenis a free agent in the offseason. Therefore, when this time of the year rolls around, the trade speculation begins to happen. And Cespedes, along with Price, have been mentioned. Yoenis 6 home runs this month. And he shoots this one in the air to right field. Ball hit well. Souza Jr. back, and that ball is gone, and we are tied.
What an at-bat by Yoenis Cespedes. Man, is he starting to drive some balls the other way.
7 home runs this month.
His bat is lightning quick on fastball, so he gets a hanging breaking ball that's on the outer third of home plate, and he hits a laser, I mean an absolute laser, over the 370 sign in right center field.
It just cleared the yellow line into row one, but that is a home run for Cespedes.
That is his third home run to right field this year.
Victor Martinez takes strike one.
We were in Brad's office today, and he was talking about Yoenis Cespedes and just how strong he is and his ability to hit for power. This year, hitting for more average. More importantly, a good base runner and a really good defender, too.
Shift is on for Martinez as well, only to the other side of the infield.
Looked like Victor tried to beat the shift, trying to hit something the opposite way past Longoria, who's the only person on that side of the infield.
Victor had a base hit the other way last night in the ball game. Finished up 2 for 4. Odorizzi with the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He dusted him. One gone. That is 5 strikeouts now for Jake Odorizzi. So Cespedes now with a couple of home runs in the series, 3 hits. He has been, well, what the Tigers would have hoped he would be this year. Driving in runs, a lot of extra base hits.
Cespedes has homers in 3 of the last 4 games. He homered on Saturday in Boston, as well as last night and tonight.
Ball outside to J.D. Martinez, who seemingly hit a pop-up straight up in his first at-bat, and it went to dead center field and hit one of the catwalks. Ended up being a triple. He'll drive another one to center field. This more on a line. It's going to drop in front of Kiermaier. Time for a game break now. Here's Mickey York.
Third baseman, Nick Castellanos.
All right, Mick, thanks very much. Here it is Castellanos now with 1 on, 1 out. Bouncing ball back up the middle and into center field, right through a couple of defenders. The base hit. Martinez going to third base. Here comes the throw, and he is safe. Throw back down to second, not in time. And Castellanos ends up at second base.
That is a sense of urgency that we have been waiting to see the Tigers play with. J.D. Martinez is not the fastest Tigers base runner, but you don't have to be the fastest base runner to force the issue when you're running the bases. That is just a very nice job of forcing the issue going first to third. He ran right in the face of the left fielder Geyer. He almost caught Geyer flat-footed. Geyer fielded that ball like he was an infielder, therefore couldn't get off a strong throw to third base. It's a nice job by Castellanos as well, reading the play, and once he saw the ball go to third, he was able to get to second.
Now McCann with runners at second and third and 1 out. 1-1 ball game.
Slider's the pitch of choice in this situation for Odorizzi. Ultimately, that's what he'll try to get you to chase.
McCann hit a ball hard his first time up with a runner at third and 1 out, but he hit it right at the left fielder Geyer. And they couldn't get the run in. Chopped foul, and McCann hits the deck. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Got him off the right knee. The back right knee.
Homer by Cespedes, 1 out single by Martinez, and then Castellanos' base hit chased Martinez to third, and Nick took second base on the throw. Now McCann trying to give the Tigers their first lead. Swing and a miss, tied him up. 1-2 on McCann. James has hit safely in 13 of his last 14 games, has really performed well offensively. Knocked down by Casale.
Let's take one more look at that base hit by Castellanos up the middle. Beckham played shortstop in last night's game. Today he's playing second base, and this ball didn't appear to be hit all that far away from him. Look at right where the ball is. He didn't even go for it. He simply started to retreat to go back to the second base bag, and it appeared to me he may have been able to at least knock that down.
I thought that initially when I saw it. I agree. But these shifts will put you in uncomfortable positions. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And McCann goes down for the 6th strikeout for Odorizzi. 2 away here in the 4th. So 6 already in the strikeout column, and now Avila.
And 9 is the high for Odorizzi this year. He did that against the New York Yankees all the way back in April. We gave you some numbers on Odorizzi the last time there were runners in scoring position. He has been one of the best in the American League at not allowing the opposition to score when they do have runners on.
In there for strike 1 on Avila. Odorizzi last year led all major league rookies with 174 strikeouts. Lost a lot of ball games last year basically because he got very little run support.
Well, that's continued this year too.
Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila.
Odorizzi has 6 losses this year, and in those 6 losses the team scored a combined 7 runs in the 6 losses.
I was reading his numbers coming into this start. Run support of about 2.95 runs per 9 innings.
It's not very good.
Less than 3 really makes it tough. Avila steps out. Here you go. The only guys that have had less is Kluber, Weaver, Quintana. Swing and miss. 93 that time from Odorizzi. And then he's gone ahead now, 1-2. 60 for Odorizzi. Price limited the damage in the 2nd. Odorizzi trying to do the same here in the 4th. And the 1-2. Bounce again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should Avila reach Iglesias, lurking on deck. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out. 7 strikeouts for Odorizzi. The Tigers will strand a pair. However, Cespedes last night hit 1 out. Cespedes tonight hits 1 out. 2 homers, 2 nights for Yoenis. 1-1 game. Detroit Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. David Price goes back to the hill now. It is a 1-1 ball game. The home run by Cespedes has tied it up. But the Tigers had two men in scoring position with one out and couldn't score. There's a foul back out of play by Steven Souza Jr.
Second time this year Yoenis Cespedes has homered in back-to-back games.
Tigers have 1 run, 4 hits. Rays have 1 run, 3 hits. Price had a 5-pitch third inning. That'll miss inside.
That helped get that pitch count back in order.
Cabrera and then Casale to follow here in the Rays' 4th. Ripped right by the third baseman Castellanos down the line. He'll go to the wall. Extra bases for Steven Souza Jr. taking the turn, and he better hold up. He took an aggressive turn around second base. It'll be a double.
It's an off-speed pitch at 85 miles an hour, and Souza, boy, he turns on it. You can see Castellanos was hugging the line, which meant that that ball that was hit 2 feet to his left, he couldn't get to.
Here was Asdrubal Cabrera, who doubled in his first at bat off the disabled list. 5 homers this year, but a .225 batting average. Swing and a miss. Fastball that he threw by him. 0-1. Each ball club now with 4 hits. Showing bunt. Cabrera trying to get that runner to third base. Leadoff double by Souza Jr.
David Price is 12 of 15 in first pitch strikes so far tonight against his former teammates. But it seems like we say that every outing about David. Outstanding command.
Price last year threw 248 innings. He is on pace certainly to go over 200 again this year. Here's the 1-1. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. They did not sign Cabrera until February, or actually January this past offseason. A January signee is a free agent by the Rays. After spending 8 years with the Indians, half a season as well with the Nationals. Now the 2-1. Two and 2 on Cabrera. Price won 20 ball games in a Tampa uniform back in 2012. Was 20-5 here with the Rays. Spoiled back into the seats. Two balls, 2 strikes. Inside, run the count full now, 3-2.
That is the 14th pitch now that Cabrera has seen against David Price. He has thrown a total of 56, and Cabrera has seen 14 of those.
just off the inside part of the plate. Here's the 3-2. Fouled away, so Cabrera continues to battle. That year that Price won the 20 games, the 2012 campaign, he was 20-5. That was the year that the Rays won 90 ball games. They were 90-72, but they finished in 3rd place. The East was jam-packed. Rays, of course, under Joe Madden, got to the playoffs quite a bit. Here's the breakdown on Cabrera. 15 pitches now he's seen. 8 in the first at bat, 7 in this at bat. And another one back out of play. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Really not too many veterans in the lineup tonight for the Rays. Cabrera does provide some of that. A guy that has been around the league quite a while. And he's providing another pretty good professional at bat here. 3-2. He popped him up. Let's see if McCann has room. Not going to get there. 3-2, the count stays.
And Brad not liking the fact that David Price is about to throw his 60th pitch of the game, and there's no outs in the 4th inning.
Yeah, that 5-pitch third got his pitch count back in order, but he's given it back now in this one at bat here against Asdrubal Cabrera. Another foul back out of play. Price had that 26-pitch second inning, and now he's thrown 13 here in the 4th without recording an out. Leadoff man aboard, Souza. He doubled to get things rolling here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Toward left center field. That ball is going to get down. Ghost cuts it off. It'll score a run. Throw coming into second, not in time. A double and an RBI. And what an at bat there for Asdrubal Cabrera. He finally won the war against David Price.
Asdrubal Cabrera came in 3 for 15 against David Price in his career. You can see all the pitches that Price had to throw him to try to get him out. The last of which kind of tailed inside was a cut fastball that landed in the outfield softly. And Anthony Ghost could not be too aggressive because of the artificial surface. What a couple of great at-bats by the veteran shortstop, Cabrera.
Well, you're not kidding, and both of them resulting in doubles.
19 total pitches seen today and by Cabrera, and he has 2 doubles.
Here's Kurt Casale. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Another hit for Casale in his first at bat. He singled, and that gets him 4 for 5 now in the series. Former 10th round pick of the Tigers back in 2011. Ball high.
Tigers in 2010 and 2011 restocked their catching position. They had quite a few catchers drafted in the first 10 rounds. Casale was one of them. They had Pat Leland, they had Brian Holiday, James McCann. Rob Brantley was another. McCann has kind of survived that group. In the dirt, McCann down to block it.
You can see why McCann has survived. He's going to be a good one for a long, long time.
Really, in every facet of the game, he has impressed so much at this level.
Yeah, Major League scouts will tell you that James McCann, well, he is simply what they look like. A good big league catcher.
Casale drills one in the air deep into left field, way back, and it is gone.
You've got to be kidding me. This guy only has 6 career home runs, and 3 of those in the last 2 days.
Unbelievable. Another home run for Casale. And the Rays lead 4-1.
Well, David Price threw him appeared to be 2-1 fastball, and Casale was sitting there waiting for it.
Well, David Price, that look says it all. How about these, Rod? 7 for 18 in his last 7 games.
Whew. Getting it done.
2 homers last night and a home run here tonight, and it's 4-1. There's the ball low to Tim Beckham. 4 runs on 6 hits now for the Rays. 1 run, 4 hits for the Tigers.
Very unusual for David Price when his team has tied the score in the top half of the 4th for him to go out there in the bottom half of the 4th and give up a 3 spot.
One ball and 1 strike. Three straight extra base hits greeting David Price here in the 4th. Now the 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2 on Beckham.
The Tampa Bay Rays have 6 hits total, and 4 of those have been extra base hits. 3 doubles and a homer.
We see last night was the first game in 13 that had more than 4 runs.
Right.
And now they've got 4 already here today. Now Price ready with the 1-2. And Beckham sends a ground ball to first on the backhand of Vila. Price will cover for the outs. 1 away. We send it down now to John Keating with more on Babe Casale.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that he and McCann came up together. In fact, they're pretty good pals along with Nick Castellanos, having played together. Casale told me that he loved his time in Grand Rapids as a member of the West Michigan Whitecaps. He's still close with his host family there. And they were watching your broadcast, Mario and Rod, last night, and called him after the game. I'm sure they're watching again tonight. So hello, West Michigan from here at St. Pete.
All right, Keats, thanks. Well, Mr. Casale doing them proud, that is for sure. What a series he has had. And the Tigers now, because of him, find themselves down 3 runs. Here's Kevin Kiermaier, and he looks at a strike. Kiermaier popped up. That was back in the 2nd. He's 0 for 1. Had a double, and Kiermaier knocked in a run in last night's game. 1 ball, 1 strike. I know you say this many times, Rod, but baseball really is a funny game.
It sure is, man.
You look at this matchup on paper with a team that have been struggling to score runs all season. They came in hitting about .237 as a ball club.
And they're not a good team at home.
Not a good team at home. Facing perhaps, well, one of the most dominant left-handers in the game. And Well, it's nothing new, I guess. They've already hung a loss on Chris Sale this year and Dallas Keuchel. So those are two pretty good lefties. And they lead here tonight. Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Kevin Kiermaier. 2 gone. And David has his second punch out of the night. We'll bring up Brandon Guyer. Guyer, no success so far tonight. Pop up and a strikeout. Right back up the middle. Knocked down by Price. Kinsler double pumps. And he is out at first base. That'll end the inning, but it's a big inning for the Rays. Kurt Casale is having himself a series. 2-run shot. Highlights a 3-run inning. Law firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Well, it's 4-1 now as we go to the 5th inning. A 3-run frame for the Rays. Ever stick your hand in the Ray tank?
No, I have not. How about you?
No, negative. Not likely to happen anytime soon either.
It looks safe, though.
Well, little kids are doing it.
No, not the adults, though.
The adults know better. Look at Dad sitting over there. I ain't gonna do it. You do it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here come the Tigers now. It'll be Iglesias starting things off here in the 5th. And Odorizzi pumps in a strike to Iglesias. Gosen and Kinsler to follow. It's 4-1 in favor of Tampa Bay.
It's almost a must-win situation tonight for Detroit with Price on the mound going up against the Rays, knowing that Chris Archer, their best pitcher, pitching tomorrow. Got to win a game here tonight somehow, some way. They got to fight and they got to battle and come back to win this one.
Well, time to start clawing here. Wild card standings look like this.
Tigers have quite a few teams to leapfrog.
Yeah, 3 of them now. Little miss outside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Iglesias. So Odorizzi ended up giving up a run in the home run in the 4th inning to the Tigers, but he struck out the side each of the last 2 innings. Popped up. Middle of the infield for Tim Beckham. 1 away. Hey, the 10th annual Fiesta Tigres is August 8th when the Tigers battle the Boston Red Sox at 7:08. The first 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a free Tigres hat. Call 866-66-TIGER, or if you'd like, visit tigers.com.
See you bobbing and weaving. You're snapping your fingers over.
Yeah. A little salsa.
You love to dance?
I'd like to, but I really can't.
No. Would you like to learn?
Maybe one day.
Yeah, it's too much work to learn.
I like to watch the Latin players dance. They got a flair for it.
Goes a strikeout back in the third.
They got that Dancing with the Stars coming up here soon.
That's right. Simo's in that, isn't he?
Yeah, he says it's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work, he said.
Good luck, Simo. We'll be watching.
Omar Vizquel will also be involved in it again this year with his wife. Or is that Anibal Sanchez? One of the two.
I think it might be Sanchez.
Yeah.
Pretty good play there by Beckham. There are two gone.
He played shortstop last night and played at pretty nice position. Tonight he's playing second base.
Here is Ian Kinsler. He has been two of these strikeout victims, or he has struck out twice, I should say, against Odorizzi. 2 of the 7 total that Odorizzi has. It sails outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0 the count. Rays, despite winning last night, have still lost 21 of their last 31 games. See the shift on against Kinsler. He sends a ground ball. Diving try by Longoria. Backed up by the shortstop Cabrera, but it's unable to be picked by Forsythe. That ball's bouncing all over the place.
It'll be an infield single for Ian Kinsler. It's a nice job by Longoria knocking it down, and Cabrera, who's been outstanding at the shortstop position all year, he's only made 2 miscues, nearly got Ian Kinsler.
Longoria, nothing but a bunch of dirt on the jersey to show for it.
I was right. Omar
Vizquel
and his wife and Anibal Sanchez and his wife are both participating in Dancing with the Stars.
So it'll bring up Cespedes. It'll give him an opportunity here with 2 outs.
I think we'll get you in next year.
You know, it would be a pretty good comedic effect to have me in that dance competition. I don't think people want to see that. Cespedes takes ball 1. And of course, it's the Tigers Dancing with the Stars that we're speaking of. Which is done. How many years has been going on now? Do you know?
Whew.
It's been a couple.
At least 5.
Yeah. Ooh, up and in, and the count goes 2-0.
Papa Grande was in it one year, along with Santiago was in it 1 year. Shannon Hogan was in it last year.
And the Tigers Dancing with the Stars benefits Jack's Place for Autism.
Yep. Good cause.
Meanwhile, good hitting count here for Cespedes. He'll take a strike. 2-1. Odorizzi now at 75. Chopper toward third, foul. And hitting the deck is Cespedes. Yoenis drilled one to the opposite field, a line drive home run in the 4th inning. Took a breaking ball and hit a laser into the seats. Right off the foot. Ouch. Instep it looked like. Nubbed, foul behind home plate. So Cespedes now with 7 home runs in the month of July, the most he has hit in any month this year. He's Also been top 10 most of the years, most of the year, I should say, in extra base hits. Got 47 of those now. Trying to do something about an infield hit for Kinsler here in the 5th. Ripped. Oh, what a diving stop by Beckham. Wow, what a play by Beckham. He just couldn't do anything with it.
That's what happens when you overshift. Even when a guy makes a spectacular play like he just made, there's absolutely nobody there to cover the bag. Nobody. I mean, what a play. And Asdrubal Cabrera, he doesn't know what to do.
I don't think he had time to react. It was hit so hard.
This kind of goes back to that last at-bat by Nick Castellanos, and we were pointing out a ball that was hit through the hole that wasn't even hit as hard as that one that the youngster Beckham didn't even go for.
Right.
He went for that one and made a great play.
So that'll bring the tying run to the plate now with 2 outs. A couple of infield hits. And Victor Martinez, who has a strikeout and a pop-up, stands in.
Nothing like a couple of bloops and a blast.
Fouled back 0-1. Victor came into this one batting .383 career here at Tropicana Field. Then over .360 lifetime period against the Rays. Swing and a miss.
Victor swinging right through that fastball at 91. He was so clutch in these situations last year. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. This season, Victor hitting .270.
That's the team .270. And tonight 0 for 5. So it's 0-2 on Victor Martinez. Odorizzi trying to shut down the jam here in the 5th. Slow roller hit to the right side. It'll be fielded there by Forsythe. That'll end the threat and end the inning. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight from St. Pete, presented by Bell Tire.
It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters facing David Price, Joey Butler, Evan Longoria, Logan Forsythe against the Tigers lefty who surrendered 3 in the 4th inning. First one sails outside. 1 ball to no strikes on Butler. Ground out and a walk in this game. That'll miss again. 2-0. Butler had 7 years in the minor leagues. Really has had only a cup of coffee in the big leagues. Prior to this season, only 14 total games split between Texas and the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll take again outside. 3 balls, no strikes.
It's a cut fastball that Price tried to sneak on the outside corner.
And he missed with a low. Ball 4. A 4-pitch walk.
Let's get you caught up with the Comerica Bank game summary. The Tigers tied the score at 1 in the 4th inning on a Yoenis Cespedes home run to right field, the 2nd consecutive day he has played long ball. But then the Rays, they came right back in the bottom half. Another double by Asdrubal Cabrera, followed by a 2-run shot off the bat of Kurt Casale, his 3rd home run of the series. Score now 4-1, Tampa in front.
Here is Evan Longoria, ground out, fly out. Longoria looks at a strike after 4 straight that missed. Price throws one over the middle.
Evan Longoria 0 for 5 against his former teammate David Price in his career.
Longoria's been in a bit of a power slump. He's had only 2 home runs in his last 99 at bats. He's got 10 homers on the year. Outside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Each team was 6 hits in this game, but the Rays have the lead 4-1. One and 2. Longoria 3 times in his career hit over 30 home runs. Last season he started every single game for the Rays, played in all 162, which is not easy to do.
There was a stretch there of about 3 or 4 years where Longoria was the best third baseman in baseball, and he was good on both ends. You talked about the power numbers, but he was very impressive and is still very good down at third base.
Just off the plate.
He grew up playing shortstop, so when you take a natural shortstop and you move him over to third base, as we get a look at his franchise ranks on the offensive end and games played, you're going to get a pretty good defender, a guy that moves very well at third base. Was it Tulowitzki who pushed him to third base in college?
Tulo.
We haven't even talked about that trade yet.
No, which is...
That blew me away last night.
A stunner. Oh, we just missed again, and Longoria now has got the count at 3-2.
I was up kind of late, and I was watching television, and I saw that come across, scroll across, and I said, wait a minute now, that cannot be true.
Do the Jays actually need another bat?
It didn't appear to. Their offense is pretty good already. And now they've got a ton of right-handed bats. They're good right-handed bats, but probably too many right-handers in that lineup. If they run onto a real good right-handed pitcher, they could be slowed down.
Chase the runner back. Butler, who started things off with a walk here in the 5th.
How about Jose Reyes, though? How must he feel going from Toronto to the Colorado Rockies, who are a last-place club?
Yeah, it's tough. Somebody's got to go the other way, and it was Reyes. Although there is talk that the Rays have a pretty good, or I should say the Rockies have a pretty good shortstop prospect, and that he may be moved. Castellanos trying to start a double play. There's a 5-4-3. Nicely done. Right behind the bag. Nick starts it up. 2 gone.
It's a nice job here by Castellanos, going to his right one step. Nice firm throw here to Ian Kinsler. Look at Kinsler right now using the bag to protect himself to make sure Butler couldn't get to him. He grabbed the throw from Castellanos. He took one step back, which meant it was going to be very difficult for Butler to interrupt them turning that double play.
Here's Logan Forsythe with 2 outs. A couple of fly balls for Forsythe, one to right, one to center. Grounded foul, 1-1. Forsythe arguably having the most consistent year of any of the Rays hitters. At 11 homers, 42 driven in. He likes to hang out over the plate too.
He sure does. We talked about that last night.
One and two. Guess how close he is.
Yeah, hands over the plate.
Ball high, 2-2.
David really hasn't had a good curveball all night. He has hung quite a few curveballs. Just has not had a good feel for that pitch this evening.
Fouled away.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And David Price, nothing for him to get in the mid-90s. As a matter of fact, he has touched 96 here in this evening against his former teammates.
Check swing on a line drive right to the shortstop, Iglesias. Ending the 5th inning. Let's go to the 6th. 4-1 Rays. Has added yet another weapon. Troy Tulowitzki coming over from the Rockies.
Alex Anthopoulos, I saw an interview. He's the general manager, the one who orchestrated the trade for the Blue Jays, and said they simply had a chance to get, in his opinion, the best shortstop in all of baseball, and they had to jump at the opportunity, regardless of whether they added an offensive piece, and they really didn't need to. They need to add a pitcher now.
They sure do. J.D. Martinez leads it off. Here's the other thing. Tulowitzki has been a guy that's been injury plagued in his career. That turf is not probably going to treat him too well there in Toronto.
And now a no trade clause kicks in, so the Toronto Blue Jays cannot trade him. So he's going to be there until 2020. He's got an option on his contract for 2021.
Martinez, Castellanos, and McCann here in the Tigers' sixth, facing Jake Odorizzi. 7 strikeouts in this game for the 25-year-old Odorizzi. Two balls, one strike. Odorizzi's only other start against the Tigers was last August. He retired 15 of 16 after giving up an RBI single to Victor Martinez in the first inning last year. We'll go back to the screen.
The one thing that Odorizzi did know coming into this game here tonight, he knew he had to be on top of his game, because usually David Price is on top of his. Price very seldom gives up 4 runs in a contest.
Here's the 2-2. Oh, he called him out on strikes. Oh, JD is out of there, and he's going to jaw now with Mike Estabrook. Kind of a late call there by Estabrook.
Apparently Martinez had a beef. Now, this fastball appears to be off the plate, but you take a look at the catcher, how ever so slightly Casali grabs it and kind of pulls it back into the strike zone to get the call from Mike Estabrook.
Pitch framing at its best right there for Casali. There's a strike on Castellanos. He's 1 for 2. Wally Joyner none too happy. Here's the 0-1.
Casali might have learned from Jose Molina, who was catching for the Tampa Bay Rays last year and has always been regarded as one of your better framing catchers in the sport. That was vintage Molina.
Molina late in his career really wasn't a very good offensive player, but it didn't matter because of what he brought.
Helped a lot of pitching staffs out.
1-2 the count. Drilled foul down the right field line.
I guess in reality, Mario, it really pays if you have a catcher behind the plate that's kind of mastered that art of pitch framing, because that was basically a strike right there that was stolen by the catcher.
Yep.
Casali.
Yep. And there are certainly metrics to measure that. Brad Ausmus, of course, caught 18 years in the major leagues, a big proponent of pitch framing and what it can do to affect a game, especially over the course of a year.
Jonathan Lucroy, also very highly thought of, was a really good receiver, a guy that can really frame pitches and help out a pitching staff.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And right now, Brad more concerned with this offense getting it going here. They've had a 1 run, a home run by Cespedes in the 4th inning. That has been it. And Castellanos takes inside to run it full now, 3-2.
Brad said today also that it's been kind of puzzling when the team gets a really good outing from the starting pitcher, they don't score. And then when the pitcher goes out and gives up quite a few runs, they score some runs, but they just don't have enough.
(3-2) on Castellanos. Popped up. See if it stays in play. Forsythe can't hold on to it. New life for Castellanos.
It's a very difficult play for Forsythe. Just kind of stopped moving his feet.
They're ruling that a no play. Forsythe, most of his action has come as a second baseman. He's played a few games at first base, so not his natural position. James Loney, their first baseman, not playing tonight because of the lefty Price. Another one fouled back out of play. There's activity now in the bullpen. Steven Geltz warming up. .94 for Odorizzi at this point, so he's gaining on 100. And he lost him, ball 4. One out, base on balls.
Number 34, James McCann.
It's going to bring Jim Hickey out now. He'll come trotting out of the dugout. Well, the Tigers will host the Team Mickey All-Star Baseball Tour on Sunday, August 9th, when the Tigers face the Red Sox at 1:08 p.m. Special ticket packages include a limited edition Tigers branded Mickey Mouse hat, available exclusively at tigers.com/Team Mickey. One on, one out for the Tigers here in the 6th.
That was the first base on balls of the evening for Odorizzi.
We'll bring up McCann now. He is 0 for 2 in this game. Line out, strikeout. McCann fouls it off 0-1. James right now a 5-game hitting streak. Came in tonight batting .395 in the month of July. When Avila went on the disabled list, McCann saw a good amount of playing time. Now with Cabrera out, Avila's played some first. McCann has continued to play quite a bit. Ball high, 1-1. Here are some of the ranks among American League rookies. 4th right now for McCann in batting average.
Only one catcher in the American League has been better than him at throwing out would-be base stealers too, and that would be Rene Rivera, the catcher of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's thrown out 40%. McCann has thrown out 39% this season.
Two and 1 on McCann. That'll go foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Avila waiting on deck. Tigers have had some chances in this game. Leadoff triple in the 2nd. They couldn't score. After the home run by Cespedes in the 4th, they put 2 men on. In fact, it was 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Couldn't score. Fouled away. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. And Odorizzi now has hit 100.
Odorizzi spent about 5 weeks on the disabled list with an oblique problem this year, making only his 4th start since coming off the DL, so they will watch him very closely this evening.
Bouncing ball left side, cut off by Longoria to second, one of the relay, a double play. 5-4-3 to end the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning with a view of the St. Pete Marina. It's 4-1 Rays tonight.
Leonard, what a pleasure it was to talk to Archer about David Price and the impact that Price had on Archer, not just as a pitcher, but as a person. He loved seeing the way that Price related to everybody on the ball club and in the stadium. Grounds crew guys, ball boys, doctors, everybody involved with the team. And Archer has decided in his career, because of Price's influence, there'll be a pay it forward aspect. That's kind of what he learned from David Price. It's all about how to conduct yourself at the major league level. There's a lot of David Price and Chris Archer, who we'll see here tomorrow against JV, guys.
All right, Keith, thanks. Yeah, what a role model. I mean, David Price has long been known as a great teammate, and really until you spend some time around him like we have been able to do now over the last year, you just don't know how really good of a teammate he is.
Archer learned from David Price. David Price learned from James Shields, who is now pitching for the San Diego Padres. So David Price just simply paid forward what he was taught by James Shields. David Price kind of echoed those same sentiments yesterday when he was asked a question about being traded during the season. He says he loves to build relationships, and he found it to be very difficult last year when he was traded to Detroit on July 31st to build those kinds of relationships with the people that work the elevator, the parking lot attendants, the people in the stadium. And he's just that kind of a guy.
Strike call. And Souza Jr. is out of there. Here are some of the particulars on David Price in his time with Tampa. Was the #1 overall pick in the '07 draft. A lot of all-star games, 4-time selection as a member of the Rays. And second only to James Shields in Rays history in wins, innings pitched, and strikeouts. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who's had himself a night. He is 2 for 2 with an RBI. A couple of runs scored against Price. Average up to 228 now for Cabrera, who had a hamstring issue which forced him to miss 11 games, was on the disabled list. Bouncing ball to first, and right there is Avila. 2 gone. First time they've gotten Cabrera tonight. Well, here comes the old nemesis, Kurt Casale. Single, 2-run shot tonight. Casale 5 for 6 in the series. Right at the knees on the outer edge. 0-1. Price now is gaining on 100. He's at 98. Fly ball, right center field. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Kurt Casale with another home run. He's not kidding, is he, Rod?
It's not funny anymore.
No. 2 home runs tonight for Casale. 2 home runs last night.
Last night was his first career multi-homer game, and then again tonight he does it against David Price. That is another breaking ball. We told you David did not have a good breaking ball here tonight, and that is the first home run the opposite way for Casale. The other 3 had gone to left field. It's amazing, man.
He laid into another one, and he is 3 for 3 tonight. It's now 5-1 Rays. A 2-out solo shot for Casale. 7th of the year.
Even in Tampa's dugout, they can't believe it.
They want a curtain call here.
He's earned it.
Tim Beckham, the batter. Beckham is single, a ground out. He has an RBI. Ball one high.
This is only the third time this year where David Price has given up 5 or more runs. Gave up 5 runs to Kansas City May 8th, and he gave up 8 runs to the Yankees. That was in April.
I mean, the look on Price's face after that ball went over the wall was priceless. I mean, he was pretty much, well, he had a laugh on his face as if to say, I don't believe it either. He's hit one to left and now one to right here tonight. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Tim Beckham.
I mean, you got to go all the way back to May 8th, the last time Price gave up 5 runs in a game.
Whoa. There's the ball high.
Tigers really just kind of struggling as a team, and it kind of started right before the All-Star break when they dropped that Friday game in Minnesota. They went on to lose Saturday and Sunday, and then coming out of the break, they've won 4 and lost 7, so they've only won 4 of their last 14 games. 4 of their last 14.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Beckham. There is some activity in the bullpen for the Rays. That is Xavier Cedeno who is warming up. The Tigers have a couple of lefties due up in the 7th. That's flared back into the seats. Casale has become the 2nd player in Rays history to hit multi-homers in back-to-back games.
Let me guess, Longoria did it.
Nope. Greg Braun?
Greg Braun?
Well, that's a while ago then.
Is it Greg Braun or Greg Vaughn?
It's Greg Vaughn, I think.
Greg Vaughn.
Yeah, well, they've written down Braun here. It's Vaughn.
We got it.
I was looking at Greg Braun trying to place him.
Right.
Look at Greg Braun play here.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist.
I had you though.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Albuquerque starting to warm up. Now Price ready with the 3-2. Got him. Strike 3, and that's going to be it for Beckham and the Rays. Well, Tigers just for some reason can't stop Curt Casale. 2-run shot in the 4th. He goes the other way with a solo shot here in the 6th. And the Rays have extended their lead. here as Kirk Casale is homered again. And now it's a 4-run deficit for Detroit as we go to the 7th inning. We've got a wall-side windows pitching change. Xavier Cedeno.
And Cedeno has a fastball that gets up to about 90, 91 miles an hour. He throws a lot of curveballs. 47% of his pitches are curveballs, and the batting average against that pitch is 193. You can see his numbers overall not bad. The earned run average sitting at 193 for Cedeno.
It'll be Avila to start things off. Avila, Iglesias, Ghost here in the 7th, bottom 3 facing the lefty Cedeno. They play to pull on Avila, and he shoots one the other way, foul. 0-1. Alex in the ball game, a strikeout and a fly out. Those 2 at bats against Odorizzi.
Odorizzi came into the game tonight not getting a lot of run support from his teammates. They had averaged him under 3 runs per game, but tonight they got him 5.
That's in for a strike, and now it's 0-2 on Avila. Five runs, 7 hits for the Rays. The Tigers are on 6 hits. Thought about it, didn't go after it though. Geltz was warming up earlier. He is throwing once again in their bullpen. Back out of play.
I had him doing some digging down in the truck to see when the last time David Price gave up 2 home runs to the same player in a game. You really don't have to go back that far. May 18th of last year, Albert Pujols got him twice in a game.
Really? Grounded to first. That's a fair ball. Forsythe.
When you have a pitcher that is as talented as Price, you know it has not been many occasions where he has given up 2 homers in a game, let alone 2 home runs to the same guy.
I could deal with Pujols hitting a couple off him.
Not Casale, you're not buying that.
No disrespect to Kurt. I mean, he's a big league player. And he's hit a few more big league homers than I have. But
me too.
You know, yeah, but you played in the big league. But Pujols is certainly in a different stratosphere. Here is Iglesias now with 1 out. Is that thunder I keep hearing?
It could be. They was expecting some rain here. Today was a nice day. Didn't get much rain during the day, but there was supposed to be more rain tonight.
Without the roof, we'd be in delay right now, apparently. Pulled foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Might be hearing Casale's bat. The thunder off his bat tonight.
Well, that could be too. Big foul. Let's get her back into the seats. 1-2 now on Iglesias. Meanwhile, Ghost waiting on deck. They're playing Iglesias to pull the second baseman Beckham just about behind the bag, opening up the right side of the infield. And Jose doing all he can to stay alive here.
A lot of curveballs thrown by Cedeno. We told you that he throws that curveball about 47% of the time. Also has a cutter that he likes to cut in on the right-handers.
Again, the 1-2. Checked it. There you go. Negative. Cedeno started the year with the Nationals, went to the Dodgers briefly, and now with the Rays. Broke in with the Houston Astros, so he has bounced around a bit. Swing and a miss, and down goes Iglesias.
There's that cutter. Acts like a slider. Outstanding pitch thrown by Cedeno. Looks like it's right down the middle. And that ball just kind of inched its way in off the plate about a foot. And Iglesias, he could not hold up his swing.
Rays pitching tonight has 9 strikeouts. Here's Gose, strikeout and a ground out. Anthony's average now at 270. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
That cutter has a lot of movement to it. Almost looks like a slider coming out of Cedeno's hand.
A lot of movement. That one dips low and goes laid off.
You get any pool time today?
I did not.
No?
I decided to work out instead.
Did you?
Slice back out of play. How about you?
No, I didn't sit out there today.
1-2 on Gose. Kinsler waiting on deck. Bounce again. 2-2 the count. Did you run into any ghosts in the hotel?
Not yet. No, I'm still looking though.
I did run into Anthony Ghost. That's about as close as
I
we
saw
come to
him
ghosts.
today too.
But no ghosts. The hotel that we stay in here in St. Pete reportedly is haunted. That's why we bring that up. Here's the 2-2. We'll get back out of play as Ghost continues to battle. Trying to get Kinsler up there. Tigers down 5-1. We're in the top of the 7th. Right to the shortstop on a line and caught by Cabrera to end the inning. Tigers go 1-2-3. Time to stretch here in St. Pete. His second start this season, just his second start, allowing 5 or more earned runs. And Kurt Casale, well, he's been the story in this series. 6 for 7, 4 homers and 6 RBIs for the former Tigers farmhand. Ball side windows pitching change now. It looks like Albuquerque is in.
Albuquerque, 42 strikeouts, 22 base on balls. The ERA at 3.19. Pitching in his 45th game.
Rays have Kevin Kiermaier leading it off. He was 0 for 2 against Price. David goes a total of 6 innings in this game. Albuquerque missing Lowe. Kiermaier, Geyer, and then Butler in the Rays 7th. To the backstop goes that one, 2-1. Fly ball center field. Chasing Ghost back. Anthony's got a beat on it. And 1 out. I'll bring in Brandon Geyer. The Tiger bullpen this year has an ERA of better than 4.13. And that has been an Achilles this year for the Tigers, the bullpen. Now they've had individual performances that have been good this year. Wilson, Hardy,
Soria.
But as a group, it has been a struggle. Bruce Rondon gave up the homer last night, which kind of salted it away. Fouled back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Geyer. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Rays. 1 run, 6 hits for Detroit. Geyer is out of there, 2 away. Albuquerque gets his first strikeout. Saturday, Major League Baseball returns with the Freeway Series between the Angels and the Dodgers. It's a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern at Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Gonna bring up John Jaso. Jaso is at 320 this year. Maybe a chance to hit here for Butler, who had a couple of walks. Here's the shift that they employ against Jaso. That's a strike called. Jaso led off in the ball game last night. Was 0 for 2 with a walk.
We talked about all the scouts that are here in attendance. They weren't all just watching David Price this evening. The Rays have quite a few guys that have been mentioned that might be on the move. There's all the scouts. About 20-25 of them here tonight.
Well, I think you'd agree that Jaso would be one of those guys, right?
Oh, Jaso will give you a quality at bat. He's a guy that can play multiple positions, but he can hit.
3-1 now on Jaso.
David DeJesus, as you mentioned, one of their outfielders already traded out west to the Los Angeles Angels.
Bouncing ball right side, diving stop Avila. And Albuquerque covers. Nice play to end the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We are headed to the 8th inning here in St. Pete. Photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Good thing we're inside, buddy. It is absolutely pouring outdoors.
It is raining outdoors. Not too sunny for the Tigers indoors either tonight, as they trail by a score of 5-1. We've got a new pitcher now for the Rays. That'll be Steve Geltz.
Geltz has a good arm. Fastball gets up to 93. He has a slider. He also throws quite a few split-fingered fastballs. That's how he gets most of his strikeouts. Averaging nearly a strikeout per game is Geltz this year. 46 games, 44 strikeouts, 16 base on balls.
And Geltz will have to go through the top of the Tigers lineup. It'll be Kinsler, Cespedes, Martinez. Shipped on for Kinsler, who is 1 for 3 infield single in his last at bat. Skies one to center field. First pitch swinging. Kiermaier is under it.
Let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game. Yoenis Cespedes has hit quite a few home runs since the break. 3 of the last 4 days. He's played long ball, once in Boston, 2 here in Tampa. This one, the opposite way of his 17 total home runs. Yoenis has only left the building 3 times in that direction.
Cespedes also has an infield single to go with his home run tonight, although that thing was smoked in a diving play by Beckham. Infield base hit. So 2 really hard hit balls for the Detroit Tigers left fielder. Phillies warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Cespedes takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Geltz ready with the 1-1. Back him out of there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Geltz also has big league time with the Angels. That's the organization he grew up in. Big rip there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Geltz trying to get him through the 8th inning. 5-1 in favor of the Rays. Fouled away down the right field line. 2-2 on Cespedes. Tomorrow in the series finale, the Tigers will have to deal with Chris Archer. Justin Verlander for Detroit. It. Now the count fills 3-2. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. Just got a piece of it. Odorizzi started the game, went 6 innings for the Rays. Cedeno came on, had himself a 1-2-3-7. Kevin Cash, his team smack dab in the middle of the wild card chase as well.
Youngest manager in professional sports.
Pulled a left but foul. Cash in his first year here with the Rays.
37 years old. Brad Stevens, Boston Celtics coach, is just 38.
High, towering fly ball to center. Kiermaier again waiting for it. And there are 2 gone. It's going to bring up Victor Martinez. Cash, like many other major league managers, was a catcher in his playing days, parts of 12 professional seasons. 8 years in the major leagues. Those catchers, man, more and more of them becoming big league managers.
Played his college ball at Florida State.
Victor is 0 for 3. Ground out, strikeout, pop up. And he looks at strike one. That sails low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers still have 4 outs to play with here, but you look right back at 2 innings. That leadoff triple in the second, couldn't get him in.
Right.
Second and third, 1 out in the 4th inning, settled for the home run by Cespedes earlier in the inning. That's it.
Yeah, that would have put a lot of pressure on their starter, Odorizzi, tonight.
Well, Victor's swinging and missing a lot in this series.
And he's swinging at a lot of fastballs that are up and out of the strike zone. It appears that Victor's trying to do a little bit too much these days with Miguel Cabrera on the disabled list.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
The looks on their faces kind of say it all.
How about that from Victor? He shoots one down the third base line for a base hit.
That is a fastball that is off the plate about 6 inches and up in the strike zone that Victor just sticks his bat out and able to put it in play right down the third baseline. Longoria, the third baseman, was way over shifting Victor. He was playing the shortstop position. And you see where Longoria is. There's no way he can get there. He can cover a lot of ground, but he can't cover that much.
Now they'll shift the other way with right-handed batting J.D. Martinez stepping in.
These Rays, man, they shift as much as any team we've seen this year in the first 2 days we've played them. They shift on everybody.
Certainly has appeared like it. Swing and a miss as J.D. leaves the strike zone.
We saw Baltimore, who was shifting quite a bit. And right after the break.
Couple of hits today for J.D. Triple and a single. Now it's 0-2.
Chevrolet brings you the high-strength steel for the second consecutive evening. A ball hit the catwalk. J.D. Martinez, and we were told that if it hits the catwalk that J.D. hit, it's supposed to be a home run, but they reviewed it, and the triple standing. So
swing and a miss. J.D. is out of there, and so are the Tigers here in the 8th. 10 strikeouts tonight for Rays pitching. We go to the bottom of the 8th in St. Pete. Are down by 4. We've got a new pitcher now for Detroit. It's Neftali Feliz.
And Feliz picked up just a couple of weeks ago for the Tigers right before the All-Star break, pitching in the 7th game. He has pitched a total of 5 innings. He's given up 8 earned runs, and the opponents, they've kind of had their way against Neftali. .455 batting average.
So Feliz here in the bottom of the 8th, facing Evan Longoria to start things off. And Longoria looks at ball 1. David Price in this ball game was taken out after 6. Albuquerque pitched the 7th, and now Feliz. 1 for 6 is Longoria against Neftali. He'll drive this one in the air to deep right. Goes on the run, looks up, and it's gone. It's out of here, a home run for Evan Longoria.
When the Tigers came to Tampa, the Rays had gone 13 straight games where they had not scored more than 4 runs. In back-to-back games here against Detroit, they have scored obviously more than 4.
5 yesterday, now 6 here tonight. It's the 8th hit of the ball game, and now the 3rd home run of the night for the Rays. They have a 6-1 lead.
That is the 5th home run against Tigers pitching in the series.
Well, Feliz, when the Tigers picked him up, his first appearance was in Minnesota, looked really good. But he has gotten hit in his last couple of outings. Had that outing in Boston on Sunday. Sail outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Logan Forsythe. 5-run lead now for the Rays. Three and 0. Steven Souza Jr. waiting on deck. He's taking, it's a strike. Forsythe is 0 for 3. Here's the 3-1 pitch. 3-2 now on Forsythe. If this score holds up here tonight, the Rays, for as much as they've struggled, here's the 3-2, will have beaten Sale, Keuchel, and Price, 3 of the elite left-handers in the American League. Cash has gotten the most out of his right-handed batting lineup.
Yes, he has. He's really gotten the most out of his team this year.
Yeah, good point. 3-2. Boston, ball 4. Homer and a walk to greet Feliz here in the 8th inning. Well, Rod, the Royals have added a couple of really big pieces, I would say.
Well, they got themselves a legitimate ace in Johnny Cueto. We saw him in Cincinnati. It was a rain-shortened game, but his stuff is outstanding. Mid-90s fastball. It gives you different looks, different deliveries, changes arm speeds. Very few pitchers have been better than Cueto the last 5 years as far as the earned run average is concerned in the game. That's how good he's been.
That is pulled to third, right by a diving Castellanos.
Kansas City also acquired Zobrist today from the Oakland Athletics, and he instantly gives them stability everywhere on the diamond. He can literally play every position on the field, and he's a switch hitter with a good bat. So the Kansas City Royals, they've gotten better the last couple days.
Now McCann out to the mound to have a chat with Feliz.
The shortstop, number 13, Asdrubal.
We'll bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. Still nobody out. And Cabrera's had a big day. A couple of doubles. He has scored a couple of runs. He has knocked one in. Five-run game right now. Nobody out. 2 men on. Ball one.
And Phillies is asking for trouble. Even though he has a big arm, the fastball gets up to 95. A good fastball hitter like Cabrera that knows the fastball is coming can barrel it up. No problem.
One ball, one strike on Cabrera. Rays trying to pad their lead here in the 8th. They've already homered. Longoria has gone deep for his 11th of the year. Cabrera waits on the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rays jumped out to the early lead in this one. It was 1-1 when the Tigers tied it up in the 4th. Then a 3-run 4th inning remains the biggest inning in this game so far. Kirk Casale, 2 more home runs tonight. Lifted back out of play.
Menards brings you the big money encounter in Cabrera's first at bat coming off the disabled list. He hadn't played since July 11th. It was a 9-pitch at bat his first time up. He came home to score, and then his second time up he saw another 10 pitches from David Price, and he doubled again. So quality at bats for Cabrera in his first 2 plate appearances.
19 in his first 2 at bats. Just popped up foul back out of play. Look, Cabrera didn't even go on a rehab assignment, coming back off the disabled list today, and is showing that maybe he didn't need one. 2 doubles and a chance to extend their lead here with a base hit. Pulled right to first base, knocked down by Avila, and he's not going to have a play, and the bases are loaded. Still nobody out.
Alex able to get over and knock it down, but it appeared to kick the ball, and by the time he got there, Albuquerque, they had no play against Cabrera.
So they're loaded up. Jeff Jones coming out of the dugout right now, and guess who's coming up?
Casale.
Yes, sir. Casale already 3 hits, 2 homers, 3 RBIs tonight. 6 homers in his last 19 appearances.
Did Casale go to Vanderbilt too, you said?
He did. I don't believe they were there at the same time, or he was there with David Price at the same time. He may have been. They are both Vanderbilt Commodores.
Well, he was awfully rude to his former Commodore.
Yep, no doubt. Tigers now going to pull the infield in. Can't afford to give up any more. They're down 6-1 in the 8th.
Well, if you're Casale here, you can simply sit on an off-speed pitch from Neftali Feliz. You know, at some point in time in the first couple of pitches, he's going to throw you something off speed because he's been clobbering fastballs.
0-1.
88-mile-per-hour slider that he was a little out in front of.
Homer, walk, single, single. A run in, bases loaded, nobody out. ball high. 1-1. There's more action in the Detroit bullpen. In fact, both bullpens working right now. Albuquerque had a 1-2-3-8, and now Blaine Hardy tuning up in this inning. Fouled back out of play, and it's 1-2 now on Kirk Casale.
3 straight breaking balls thrown from Phillies to Casale, and he has not been able to barrel it up.
Well, tomorrow's the day game after a night game, but Kevin Cash may not want to take him out of the lineup tomorrow.
It might be tough. It's a quick turnaround, too. Tomorrow is a 12 o'clock game. Here's his 2 home runs today. Both of them against David Price. One on a fastball, the other one on a curveball. One to left field, one to right field.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Casale is finally retired. 1 away. Now Tim Beckham.
Infield in on the corners, double play depth up the middle.
Ball 1 to Beckham. Single RBI off Price back in the 3rd. Ten hits in the ball game for Tampa. They've out hit the Tigers 10-7, and they lead 6-1. That's in there as strike 1-1. Swing and a miss, and an awkward swing there by Beckham. 1-2. Kiermaier, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck.
Well, if you're Phillies, you may as well come right back with that same pitch to see if you can get strike 3 out of Beckham.
Wouldn't chase. 2-2. Lifted back out of play down the right field line. Back amongst them. 16,326 the official attendance here tonight, Tropicana Field. The bases are loaded for the Rays. 2-2 the count on Tim Beckham. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. Phillies needed 20 pitches just to record his first out of this inning. The strikeout of Casale, he's at 26 right now. They gave up 4 hits, 3 runs in his last outing in Boston. That was on Sunday. And that blowout win for the Red Sox. Drilled to left center field. That ball is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. This is going to get 3 runs in. Beckham is on his way to third base, and he's going to be in with a triple, and the Rays have busted this one wide open.
It's a hanging slider thrown by Neftali Feliz, and Beckham just put a pretty good swing on it and found the gap in left center, and they're on. A triple for Beckham and drives in 3.
A 4 RBI night tonight for Beckham. And Feliz will not survive the 8th inning. He is able to get just 1 out. And he will depart as the Tigers go to the bullpen. Here comes Hardy. He'll be back. As we play here in the 8th inning, Blaine Hardy will take over for Detroit.
Blaine Hardy's had a nice year. He had 2.60 earned run average, lots of strikeouts. He hasn't walked that many, and he's worked quite a bit. He is pitching in his 45th game this season.
Kevin Kiermaier will stand in. 11 hits now for the Rays. A big triple by Beckham with the bases loaded.
And Beckham now has 4 RBIs tonight, and coming into play this evening, he had not played in a game in the big leagues where he had more than 2 ribbies.
Swing and a miss. So Feliz faced 6 batters. He was only able to get 1 of them out. And the runner at third is still his responsibility. Here's the 0-2. Checked it. Did not go. Kiermaier sends a high fly ball to left field. Cespedes tracking it, runner tagging, and that is going to be a sac fly and an RBI for Kiermaier.
He closed the book on Feliz. All 5 of those are his runs.
Kiermaier gets his 18th RBI. 10-1 ball game. Didn't seem possible in a game started by David Price. It's fouled off by Geyer. This has turned into a 5-run 8th for the Rays. They've also had a 3-run inning. Lifted back out of play. No balls and 2 strikes on Geyer. Low. 1-2. Geyer is the 8th man to bat in the inning. It started with a home run by Longoria. He struck him out swinging. That'll end the inning. So they send 8 men to the plate and bust it open with a 5-run 8th inning. We go to the 9th. The Rays as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Tigers down to their final 3 outs, and they will face Brandon Gomes.
Well, the loss here tonight, Detroit will fall into 4th place. The White Sox will leapfrog the Tigers if they go on to lose this game.
Well, it's Castellanos to lead things off, then James McCann and Alex Avila. A big 5-run 8th inning has made it a 10-1 contest. Castellanos fouls it off, and that one got Casali. 1 ball, 1 strike. Odorizzi started. Gave way to Cedeno in the 7th. He is the pitcher of record for the Rays. Ball's into the air toward left. Pretty deep, not deep enough though. 1 gone. Castellanos retired, and that'll bring up James McCann. Cedeno goes 1 inning, and Geltz goes 1 inning, and now Gomes here in the 9th. McCann tonight bouncing into a double play in his last at bat. He's 0 for 3. One rises high, 1-0. Archer, Verlander tomorrow in the finale. Then the Tigers have 4 over the weekend in Baltimore.
Quick turnaround tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is at noon.
Ooh. Swing and a miss.
So Tigers will not have a long time to think about this one.
the 1-1. Sail inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Long night tonight for the Tigers. Little pop up, shallow center field. Might be a tough play. It will not. Kiermaier's able to run in, make the catch. And there are 2 gone. Hey, follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com at Bat on your smartphone or tablet. Here is Avila with 2 outs. Ball 1 high. Avila's 0 for 3. Fly out, strikeout, ground out for Avila. Here's the 2-0. Fastball up flutters, and he threw it by. Drilled to left field. And it's out of the reach. Brandon Guyer up against the wall. Avila's on his way to second. And he'll pull in with a 2-out, 2-base hit. Second double of the year for Avila.
That ball came off of Avila's bat like a bullet. Guyer, a good defender in left field, couldn't run it down.
We'll bring up Jose Iglesias, who is 0 for 3 this evening. Tigers have their 8th hit of the game. In there for strike 1. Jose shoots one fair down the right field line, and he'll get a run in as Avila rounds third and scores an RBI single for Jose Iglesias to make it 10-2. It'll bring up Anthony Gose. First run of the ball game since the 4th for the Tigers. Now Gose, who is 0 for 3. That single also breaks an 0 for 12 for Iglesias. He'll dive low, 1 ball, no strikes. In the air toward left field. It's going to be caught by Guyer to end the ball game.
Somehow, some way, the Tigers are going to have to regroup and come back here tomorrow and beat one of the better young pitchers in the game of baseball in Chris Archer if they don't want to get swept out of Florida.
Final score tonight from Tropicana Field. It is 10-2 in favor of the Rays. Back with more from St. Pete.